Hello and welcome back to Dogbert's Sports Card School. And this video is going to be about opening wax or boxes for profit. Not going to have the dog on screen today. Don't want to take away from the slides. That's good information. There's some things going on right now that make me want to make this video next rather than exactly where to sell. So going a little bit out of order of what I originally planned, but I'll get onto where to sell in the next video. But right now, let's talk about opening wax for profit. So, everyone says you don't buy open boxes, you only buy singles. This is what you'll hear if you ask on Reddit or any group of sports card. And to be honest, people who say this are both right and wrong at the same time. What does that mean? What does it mean that they're right and wrong? Well, generally speaking, the high-end boxes are almost always guaranteed to lose you money. I've seen $6,000 spent on a box, and they got maybe, on a good day, $1,500 worth of cards out of it. It's really that bad. But if you buy the right product at the right time, you can profit, and you'll see some of these examples later. So here's an example of what you don't want to buy. This is the vaulted 2023-24 Panini Prism Basketball Hobby Box. Currently, right now, it's about $1,100. When they came out, they were between $800 to $1,000. And notice it says 2 autographs per box. I can't tell you how many people only got 1 autograph or got no autographs per box. They absolutely sucked this year. And this is a great reason why you don't buy this particular type of box. You only got 12 cards per pack, 12 packs per box. You got 144 cards total. You're paying $7.64 per card. And on top of that, even if it does have autos, it doesn't have the top autos right now because of the things going on between Panini and Fanatics. Essentially, Fanatics is scooping up all the good guys, the Victor Wembanyama's, the CJ Strouds, stuff like that. They don't sign for Panini, so you can't find the big autographs in here. Those 2 autographs aren't going to be that great, even if you do get them. And the base cards that you get out of here, most of them probably aren't going to be $7.64 a piece. I mean, if you get a good Wemby or something, you might be able to pay for the box. But in this case, you're way better off this buying singles or retail. Another don't buy. I didn't realize how expensive it was until I looked this up. 2023 Panini Prism Football. Again, you have the 2 autographs per box. Yes, they do have Anthony Richardson, but there's no CJ Stroud. There's no Will Levis. I forget who the other guys who are that won't sign for with Panini. But this is going to be like this for the next couple of years until everything switches over to Fanatics. Bryce Young, that was another one, doesn't sign for Panini. So even though you're getting autographs per box, they could be absolute crap autographs. You can get numbered prisms. Again, they could be absolute crap guys. You might get a great guy. Who knows? I think the CD Stroud's like $800, $900 for the basic prism. If you got a numbered CJ Stroud, that would be great. But you're still paying, again, it's 144 cards, $12.50 a card. And there's very high odds you will get somebody you really don't want. It really doesn't sell well. So again, don't buy something like that. And when I talk about like the high-end sets, this is what I'm talking about. Panini Impeccable Football. Don't buy this. This is $1,250 right now. You get 8 cards per pack. 1 pack. Only 8 cards. $156.25. You want to see what some of those cards are selling for or just sold for? Let's take a look over at eBay. All right, here on eBay, I have looked up 2023 Panini Impeccable Football. I have filtered it for the completed and sold listings. Wouldn't you love one of those 5 autographs you can get to be Tyson Bagant? Oh, that's a rookie yacht patch auto. Well, you got a whole $20 that you paid $156 for. How about Quentin Johnson for the Chargers? I mean, it's an RPA and it's sold for $50. Okay, and you got base cards, didn't even sell for $6. Baker Mayfield, $13. You paid $156 for him. Oh, here's a big hit with the silver bar you can get out of that box. It was Ty Law out of 25, $77. Jaden Waddle, $65. That's a soccer card. That's not it. You can get DeMarcus Ware, $60. Okay, here we go. Finally got somebody who's worth getting $335 for Justin Herbert. But then you go back to Ty J. Spears, $10. Here's look at the great cards you can get. $1.29. Bruce Smith, he sold for less than $155. I'm not gonna go look it up. Dalton Kincaid, rookie, $100 there, a lot better. Jameer Gibbs didn't even get $90. You can just see why this is such a bad thing to buy. You only get 8 cards. You're paying a lot of money. There's Rashee Rice also. You got Sam Laporta. Oh, there's one that's graded. I mean, these numbers don't lie of why this is such a horrible product to be buying. So that's a really good examples of why you don't want to buy something like that, especially with these low number cards. And it's a Panini product, like I said, they're talking about the key rookies being like Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, and Bijan Robinson there. And out of that list, Anthony Richardson and Bijan Robinson, you can get 3 out of the 5 you can't get because they don't sign for Panini. So, what is the right product then? You're probably wondering. Well, it's usually low to what we consider low to mid-tier products. They typically can cost $100 to $300 for a box, depending on the configuration, whether it be a jumbo, you're buying blasters, you're buying a hobby box, whatever. But the key thing is each product should be researched first. There's so many different sets and things you should look at. Is it even a popular set that you want to get or buy? Will it actually sell? But you are generally looking for a low cost per card. Unless there's guaranteed hits, then you can justify paying a little bit more, such as how many autographs are actually guaranteed to hit. Are you guaranteed to get something exclusive to the hobby box, or exclusive to the jumbo box, or exclusive to the retail product? And then you can factor that into your calculation. I generally look for 50 cents a card or less, depending again on what the hits are guaranteed, or maybe even if I'm pretty confident I can get something good out of a certain number. You can play the odds and justify the math in your head as much as you like. And you can also look at previous sales from previous years that these sets existed. So, the other thing that people say is, I should only buy hobby boxes, right? People say retail sucks. Again, this is another right and wrong at the same time. This all depends on the product and its price points. A great example of it that just came out right now, Bowman 2024 Bowman, I should say. The blasters are absolutely positively the way to go. You can get 9 blasters for the price of 1 hobby box, and you'll end up pulling more autographs, more inserts, more parallels, everything you can think of. You'll get way better return on that money. But then you also have other things with retail that go sideways. In some cases, retail is the only price point you can get into, such as those Prism things. I wouldn't touch the hobby at all because of their price points. I would just go retail Prism if I wanted to buy any Prism wax to even have. Oh, I have to edit this. Oh wait, never mind. I'll edit. So, should I only buy? Also, this, like I just said, does it have retail exclusives? These can be retail parallels, retail inserts, whatever. Those exclusives do have value. You also have to look at the retail product cheaper per card, like I said, versus the Prisms things that I would look to buy if I was buying them. That's way cheaper to go retail. It is the other thing that's come up. The reason why I wanted to make this video is because is the retail product released weeks in advance of hobby? So what do I mean by this? Let me give you 3 examples of what this just started this year. Started with the 2023-24 Panini Prism Basketball. It was released 2 weeks before hobby. Nobody was expecting it. All of a sudden, blasters showed up at Walmart. I made quite a bit of money off of this because I opened some and I sold some blasters. I was getting like double the amount of money I was paying for them. The sealed blasters, and the ones I opened, I was pulling Wemby's. I was selling all the cards. I made a few $100s just off of some stupid blasters, and I barely didn't have to do anything. Currently, right now, we have the 2023 Donruss Optic Football. It's been released a month and a half before Hobby. If you're lucky, you can find Target with them. Some Walmarts have them. I don't have any in my area. I've kind of missed the boat on that because unfortunately they're just not in my area. That was the other problem with Panini Prison I forgot to mention, is that only certain areas get them too. I was lucky in that one, unlucky on the Donruss Optic Football. Another one that has come out is 2023 WWE Chronicles. The blasters released 3 weeks before Hobby. Again, it depends on your area. My area does have them somewhat. They're quickly selling out though. So those are things you got to think in mind. You got to think of all these things, because when these things happen, there's a lot of money to be made off the retail product. The most important thing, though, like I said, is having the cards in hand and getting them up for sale on eBay immediately when that product comes out. That's why looking at retail being released before Hobby is so important. You have a small window of 2 to 7 days on average in which there is a buying frenzy for singles of this product. And during that time, you can literally get double, even triple what a card will go for after this window. You'll have very easy sales. You'll have multiple sales happening at all times. I learned this, one of my worst products, 2023 Top Stadium Club. I thought I was absolutely hammered on that box. I paid like $110 for it, and I got absolute shit. I'm thinking, oh my god, I've lost so much money on this box. I'll be lucky to get half if I'm on a good day. But I had it on release day, and I put them all up, and I got my ass moving, got those singles up on eBay. I ended up netting around $60 profit on that box, and actually, so I was very happy with that. So here's some other examples of products I've gotten where I hit the window perfectly. We're looking at 2023 Chronicles. I didn't really hit this window perfectly. I was actually a little bit late to this party, but you can see it's still been selling pretty well in the last week that I've had it. I spent $100, about 4 blasters total. And as I'm making this video, I had $85.70 when I made this slide. I have had a couple sales today, so that number is going back up. The other thing that this doesn't take into account is that I've kept a few of the cards. I never posted them on eBay because I'm going to be sending them off for grading to get even more money out of those cards. And you can see I'm doing pretty well, $100 in, already up to 85 plus. And I'll be breaking even soon and hopefully getting into the profit area. And there's going to be 2023 WWE Chronicles Hobby Box coming out. I'll be making a video opening that up, explaining why I even went after this hobby box. It doesn't generally fall in my general recommendations, but this is a little bit unique. When it comes to WWE cards, they don't always play by the same rule book as the other sports. Another example, 2024 Topps Series 1. This came out in February 15th. This is when I actually got kind of screwed on, because in reality, people were getting this as early as February 13th who ordered it for the Fanatics, whereas I ordered through an online retailer and didn't get it till the 15th. So just learned my lesson that I will start ordering Topps products directly from them, even if I got to pay a little bit more, because having it a day or two earlier allows me to really take over that market and get some really good prices. And here you can really see the dip happen when the party starts ending and you start slowing down in the sales. I have a little bit of spike here, like sold like a big parallel finally and everything. And it's just been like little sales here and there, a little bit of money every, few days. There's gaps in here where I don't make any of these sales. You can see kind of in March and April here, there's like nothing at the beginning of April. I'm only making a few bucks here, a few bucks there. And overall, I spent $340 on Topps Series 1 this year, and I have $436.15 back to me before the cost of like envelope label. This is just minus out the fees and everything I pay on eBay, which is also the shipping cost. And that also varies because the nice thing about like some of these early sales is multi-card sales, which allowed me to get a lot more money per card because I have less eBay fees on multi-card sales, less shipping fees, less costs overall. And sometimes, like a lot of these little sales, they're getting boosted by another product that came out that helps bring in money, helps get them sold on a multi-card sale as well. So this is where having multiple products laying around, yes, it's older product at this point, but every now and then they get thrown into a deal to get something else sold or something, they just get into that multi-card area. Trying to explain as best I can. Another example is 2023 Illusions football. Illusions isn't considered the greatest set, but I actually like the inserts on this, and I've actually held a lot of it. I actually held a lot of these cards back, especially the inserts, and got them graded. I spent $108 and I have $255.83 in sales. I still have a bunch of the cards left as well. Plus, I have all that stuff that was graded. Some of it I've actually put up for auction and starting to sell it off. I am holding on to a lot of the graded stuff just so I can space it out and keep my income going. You can see here we had pretty good times here. Started on the 21st. Went all the way to about, you can say, the 30th or 31st. So we had a pretty good window there. And then you can see it just drops off. The party's over again. But it was pretty nice when it was going. And then, you get a few sales here and there. Again, you got some gaps like there. You can see the party's really dropped off. Plus, the other thing is, like, any of the really highly desired stuff that I didn't keep for grading gets bought up here as well. So now we're into stuff that's not as popular, shall we say. And the last example I want to get is probably one of my best yet. That is 2024 Sage High Series Football. If you're unfamiliar with this, this is an unlicensed college football cards. And this is probably the exact opposite of what everybody tells you to do. Oh, college is worthless. The college uniforms suck. Unlicensed? You can't have that. Well, I spent $300 so far on this, and I have $554.41 in sales. This does not include today's sales, which I have another $10 in. So I'll be up to like $564. And this has just been a product that's just been selling really well for me. What actually happened here is I got this up right before midnight on the 26th, right before it turned to the 27th. You can see this was one box here. I ended up like seeing this and like, holy crap, I actually ordered a second box. It came on this day. You can see that I got some more sales. And it dipped down, it comes back up, dips down, they get popular, these are every few days. I'm getting sales. And you see this big spike here is I actually sold one of the big autograph cards I got for $80 by itself. So that was the big portion here, plus some other sales. And like I said, I have over $10 today in sales. It may not sound like much, but when you're dealing with this product, it's quite nice. And this doesn't, again, account for the cards I kept for grading. What did I keep for grading? Well, I got 2 Caleb Williams autographs and 2 Bo Nix autographs that I have not sold, that are out for grading. This was a JJ McCarthy autograph that was way off center, so I was very happy to get $80 for that. And a lot of this is I sold some autographs here, like a Spencer Rattler. I got like $30 for. I know I sold one the other day for like $10. Just give you an example of what the difference is between first come out and after the party is over. But I can still continue to sell these cards. They're still doing quite well. Inventory is getting lower, even though I still have a bunch of them left over. I'm well into the profit area. I still have big cards to sell. Once they come back from grading, that will make this profit even higher once we start calculating those in. So when opening boxes wax for cards, there is a lot to consider, obviously. You see how many different things I'm considering, the math and everything. You got to figure out which format is best for your bucks. Like I said, 2024 Bowman right now, Blaster's the way to go. Top Series 1 was totally different, whether or not you should get Jumbo or Hobby. Jumbo was definitely better than Hobby. That was because of the, high hits, and Jumbo had more autographs than just the regular Hobby. But is it worth going for those hits in Hobby over like even a retail product, or is there autos guaranteed? Are those big enough autos to matter? And you also have to figure out, do you sell them raw or hold to grade? There might be cars that if I got them now, I would hold them to grade because the resale value has gone down. But there's also been cars I've sold raw, which were probably close to what the graded price is, but I sold it back when it first came out, ungraded, and made a whole lot more money that way. This is going to be on a case by case basis. You're going to have to go with your gut feeling on it, whether or not you hold it and sell it. I mean, hold it to get graded, or you sell it raw, or whatever you want to do with it. But generally, on the first few days of release, you can only want to be undercutting people by 1 cent if you're going to put the cards up there. A card's not going to sell if you mark it. Well, it will sell quickly if you mark it down 30 or 50 cents. But on these lower end cards, it really doesn't make much of a difference. As long as you're the lowest price, you'll generally sell first, even if it's only by 1 cent. You got to remember, we're not dealing with very big margins. So let's keep the price up as high as we can for as long as we can, and we can all make more money. And that's the other thing, is you got to stay firm on your price when something is newer. People often come in and want the lower price on opening on the very first day. I will absolutely refuse it sometimes. Other times, though, if it's a player or somebody I don't think has much of a future or has not generally been popular, I'm just trying to gouge. I'll just take the regular price just to unload that card, because that might be a hard card to unload, and I don't want to be stuck with it for a long time, especially if I have money now. Those are all things, again, you have to consider. It will be on a case-by-case basis how you feel about the card player, the whole set in general, how your sales are going, everything. But do not feel bad about having higher prices at the start, because no one needs cards to live. I don't care what kind of sob story they give. They don't need these things. If they really are having hard times, what the fuck are they doing buying cards? So just keep that in mind. That's why I don't feel bad about gouging in 2 or 3 times the price on the initial release and getting all that money. You don't need these things. These are just a luxury. But there's people out there, especially on the low end cards, who act like you are absolutely they're going to starve because they have to pay a nickel more. No, we need to get that money because we don't make much on this. You've seen how much I'm making right now, but I haven't counted everything. Even on the Topps 2024, I have a lot of graded cards on that one that I have not yet even tried to sell, because there's some like up and coming prospects. I'm waiting for them to debut. Things like that. Like I said before, there's a lot to consider. A lot of factors go into it. You're just going to have to play it and get your knowledge up on these different sports. That's why I say only do things that you're familiar with and know like that, so you know who to hold, when to hold, or just when to dump it and get rid of it and just take whatever cash you can get. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is, and I can give you some advice like this, but ultimately it's your decision, your cards, your money, and your business. Until next time, everybody.